Well, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I'm back now in the UK. I went off for about 5 days on holiday, had my birthday down in France. And if you haven't been down to that part of the world, do go and have a look and check out all of France, south of France. I didn't realise it's one of the most visited countries in the world. I did try and get some footage of France. I posted a few short clips of what they do down there. So some different farming practices. They grow tomatoes, sunflowers, and prunes and hazelnuts for Nutella, and lots of different crops in our region when we were down there. So it's really worthwhile going and having a visit down there. So nice after a couple of years with COVID not being able to go anywhere. So yeah, I've had lots of sun, lots of vitamin D, and now I'm back on the farm this afternoon. I've just got home and we're just rolling the gallops with the roller on the back because the 65's broken, and the 135 is of course now a show pony. So I'm walking through the barley here as well. It's ready. It is almost ready to be harvested. Literally probably next week, in the next few weeks, this will be harvested. It's not that far away at all. This is the job I'm doing now at the moment with the gallops. So this is where horses come along now. It's a bit of farm diversification. This is the old roller we use. We have ordered a new roller, a hydraulic lifting one which weighs 2.5 tons, the new one. So the new one's going to have like a hydraulic cylinder we can lift it up and down with and apply pressure. And yeah, it's going quite well. So we've got some customers tonight and then some more in the morning. But it's going quite well with the John Deere because at least I'm in a cab and keeping cool in this hot weather. The 65, that's got to have a new head gasket. The engine needs skimming as well, so we're going to get that skimmed very soon. The mechanic's quite busy at the moment with combines, so that's why that tractor hasn't been fixed. If you can see as well, the banks on these gallops have been mowed. They were hedge cut the other day because the vegetation had just grown up too high. So it's nice to come back to the farm. The crops are looking well. We've had a bit of rain. The sugar beet's looking well, the barley's looking well, and it will soon be harvest. I've got to order some silo type for the wrapping very soon because we'll wrap another couple of hundred bales, which I go through about 20 to 25 bales per roll. So I'll need probably a good pallet of rolls to basically to make sure that we've got enough wrap, because that's gone up this year. It's going to be quite expensive. I haven't asked the price, but apparently it's gone up by 50% to buy plastic, which is crazy. So it's going to be an expensive year. If the beef price goes up to match how much we're having to pay out for fuel, wrap, things like that, it'll be worthwhile. But if the price doesn't go up, then we might be in trouble. One thing I noticed when I was just in France this last week was that the French really seem to be getting on with their farming. I saw lots of old tractors and classic machinery, but there was also lots of new machinery over there as well, because the farmers seem to be very well subsidised and looked after by the local government, and also by the European Union, which is what we used to be in here in the UK. We used to be in the European Union, and a lot of farmers of course relied on subsidies in order to keep on farming. And I think in these times it's interesting because fertiliser is so expensive. It is handy sometimes to have a system where you can be helped out when the crop prices are, you know, not as good as what you're paying out, say, on fuel and fertiliser and things like that. So it's a difficult one really, and it's I mean, a lot of people obviously voted for Brexit, a lot of people voted to stay in Europe, but you know, it's done now, so there's not a lot we can do, unfortunately. Let me just show you the sugar beet. Not the sugar beet, sorry, this is the fodder beet we've got behind us here. It sort of wilted a little bit whilst we went away on holiday because it didn't have enough rain. So it's still quite badly wilted really. It needs some rain, and of course, as I've said many times before, the key to this farm really is irrigation and keeping the crops well watered, which is what we saw in France with the maize. They just seem to do a really good job of irrigating it and keeping their feed crops going, or whether it's for seed. They grow a lot of seed down there. Fodder beet seed for ourselves, that comes from France because they've got the heat there to grow the seed. So it's a different climate, different farming method. And then coming out of the fodder beet, we've got the barley, which will be harvested soon. We'll get that harvested, put in the shed. We'll push it up with the Manitou, and then we'll stack the bales on the side of the field like we normally do. Once the round bales have all been baled, and then we'll store some more straw in the fields. Alright, so we've done that job. We'll be rolling a little bit more this evening. I'm just back in the Manitou, longest it's not been run. Normally runs every day when I'm around or Dad's around. Been a few days, gal. Yeah, when I was down there in France earlier on this week, we spoke to some of the local French farmers, and they said apparently JCB were becoming quite popular in France, and now Manitou are making their way back up again. So something to do with the quality control down there of JCBs. So yeah, the French are buying French products again, looks like. But there was a lot of JCBs we saw, and Manitous as well. And then I'm just in the biomass store. This is the chip we chipped up a little while ago. And if you have a look here, since we've been away, this is the wood chip, obviously we chip. We've got quite a big hole in there now since we've been on holiday. So I think in the next week we'll pull some more wood down from the pile. We got a little bit down there with the crane the other day, and then we'll fill this hole in, fill up the hopper at some point. And then that'll probably keep us going for all of autumn then. So just being on top, really, of these things. And since we've been away, the gator should now hopefully be fixed. So we'll check some animals with this evening. So anyway, we're back, had a nice holiday, nice few days away, and now it's back to work, checking the livestock, getting ready for harvest, wrapping the bales over, well, probably be next week now, next Monday we'll start wrapping them, and then we'll be good to go for another year, and then we'll bring the cattle in later on in the autumn, get the barley in the shed, and then it'll probably be autumn or winter before we know it, but we don't want to wish the summer away just yet. So with that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Lots upcoming over the next few weeks, loads of jobs, loads of cool stuff coming. So keep positive, as I always say. Do comment, rate and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I will catch you on the next one. Well, we've just rocked up on the side of the road here, and I don't know if we can pick it up on camera, but that is a 6930 Premium with a 4-furrow plough on some heavy land, ploughing up after some wheat. So that has absolutely made my holiday. We've seen a 6R, now we've seen a 6930. Click here to subscribe to the channel, and click here to watch another Olly's Farm video.